You are now listening to Serious Minds RNTV with your host, Professor Griff. The call-in number is 516-654-7688. That's 516-654-7688. This is Professor Griff, and this is Serious Minds RNTV. Serious Minds for Serious Minds. Seriously. The Serious Minds Brain Tonic was created to sharpen the mind by protecting cells and increasing neurotransmitters associated with learning and memory. This is the Serious Minds Brain Tonic. The Resurrection Formula. This male reproductive tonic elixir is the resurrection you've been looking for. It is a stimulating sexual tonic with mild androgen-like effects that is nourishing to the reproductive system. You can order them at www.professorgriff.me and www.seriousmindsinstitute.com. Just call 678-557-2919. Your health is your wealth. Peace.
Greetings, everyone. How's everyone doing? This is Professor Griff. This is Serious Minds RNTV, and of course, you already know. We've changed our time. Instead of coming on 9 o'clock at night, which sluggish, decided to come on at between 3 and 4 every single day. And periodically, we're going to do the Alternative Black Studies course, and we're going to do the Serious Cipher at 7 o'clock. All right, and of course, you all already know April 18th is the weaponization of black music. Myself, Black Dot, Red Pill, and Soleil. All right. Empress B444. Give thanks. All right. So yeah. Let me see. All right. All right. Today's subject, we're going to be talking about this man was arrested. A man arrested outside of Kamala Harris's house. And he had rifles, and they said he had like a ton of ammunition. Oh, you want to know where to get the link? You got to go to www.professorgriff.me and scroll down, and you'll see the flyer for the event. Click that. I think it's $44. 4 of us for 4 hours. All right. It's a beautiful lineup. It's going to be very informative. I think there is 60 seats left. All right. DNK83, peace. All right, peace to the gods and goddesses out there, of course. Y'all already know. Sounds more like selective service than secret service. I hear you, man. Anyway, so let's dive into this subject. Paul Murray was arrested outside of Kamala Harris's official residence and charged with carrying a dangerous weapon, possession of unregistered ammunition, and more. Unregistered ammunition. Okay. Vice President Kamala Harris may have been in danger on Wednesday, and now that the police are releasing details about what happened, it's becoming clear that an assassination attempt might have been about to take place in Washington this week. Washington, D.C. police arrested a Texas man, 31-year-old Paul Murray, who is from Antonio, according to CNN, outside of Harris's official vice presidential residence on Wednesday afternoon, just afternoon. They said the arrest was in response to a suspicious person based on an intelligence bulletin that originated from Texas, who was detained by U.S. Secret Service. A region-wide intelligence bulletin had been issued from Texas to warn police in other parts of the country that he might be planning something dangerous, and luckily the Secret Service arrived to take him into custody just before the police were able to arrive on the scene. So the Secret Service took him into custody before the police arrived on the scene. Lindsay Watts says in her tweet, breaking, new details on man arrested by Secret Service outside of Naval Observatory. Bolo, be on the lookout. Says Paul Murray experiencing paranoid delusions, thought the government was after him. He bought an AR-15. Why was he able to buy AR-15 and you mentally insane? Told mom he was in DC and to take care of his problem. And his problem was Kamala Harris. He says Kamala Harris was not black and she didn't like the way she carried her purse on Inauguration Day. Didn't like the way she carried her purse. He didn't like the way she carried her purse on Inauguration Day. Queen Amy for life. Shay Morgan, what's good? It means beautiful flower. Peace, was good, Queen. Family, can y'all please help me out with this one? He didn't like the way she carried her purse. I know. He said he didn't think that she was black, which, why are you having an issue with that? If she wants to be Blasian, Asian, black Asian, whatever she wants to call herself, yeah, that's just the issues that she has if she has an identity crisis. For you to determine you didn't like the way she carried her purse, and for you to determine that she wasn't black, and this is the reason why you wanted to assassinate her. Sounds really, really sick, family. Make sure you get this book, The ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. Please make sure you get this, family. This explains a lot of how they think on a subconscious level. Deeply rooted, if you didn't think that she was black, whatever you thought she was, why would you want to kill some person because you don't think they're black? A police report shows that the officers discovered Mary had an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle, 113 rounds of unregistered ammunition, and 5 30-round magazines. Basically, He was outside of the official residence of Kamala Harris and her family with enough deadly weapons for an entire siege. No. 113 rounds is not a lot. If you let off a burst of rounds from an AR-15, that's 30 rounds of that 113 gone just like that. I'm sure he wasn't going to sit there and take pot shots one round at a time, sister. Come on. Now, we don't know. He could have had a binary trigger. All right? But even if he did, 113 rounds is not a lot. Now, if he was outside of the house with 500 rounds and a binary trigger, and all of them were loaded into 30-round mags, and you pulling them off your waist or out of a bag, nonetheless, he was a threat, whether he had one 30-round mag or two. All right. Thankfully, the police caught up with him before anything terrible happened. And now he's facing a number of federal weapons charges, including carrying a dangerous weapon, carrying a rifle or shotgun outside. Do y'all know what it is? You're saying or a shotgun. Make up your mind. And the business possessing of unregistered ammunition and possession of large capacity ammunition feeding device. It's Secret Service, but yeah, okay. So I guess his problem was Kamala Harris, that he drove all the way from Texas to go take care of. Okay. All right. In continuously studying racism, white supremacy, we have to understand the mindset of these particular individuals, that they feel deep down inside that they are obligated to eradicate this issue and this problem that permeates the majority of who they are on a subconscious level, and unbeknownst to the vast majority of them, they don't even really realize what's going on because it's happening on a subconscious level. And sometimes they don't know, but that's no excuse. Hold on. Got it. All right. All right. So if we haven't studied Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's work, I think we kind of ought to. All right, hold on. Dr. Welsing, Frances Cress Welsing, racism. Tomorrow, family, we're going to talk about Mumia Abu-Jamal. We're going to talk about I was sent some messages that he's about to have open heart surgery. All right. So I think what we need to do is just kind of at least send some positive energy out that brother's way, and we need to wish him well and make sure he stays in good health. But we can't stop fighting for justice. All right. Hold on. Now, this is one of the reasons why I think maybe this gentleman wanted to get rid of Dr. Kamala Harris.
People have talked for a long time about equality. to be equal. White people can't be equal to black people because they can't produce melanin pigment. And that's the basis upon which they operate. You see, so again, platitudes and all of that's good, but it doesn't have anything to do with the reality, the specific reality that has caused the problem for people for 500 years plus. See, people are called white or you're non-white. That's on the census. That's the classification. You see, that is the problem. The word white, when it refers to human beings, means genetic deficiency, mutation, genetic deficiency, inability to produce melanin pigment. It means tiny minority on the planet. You see, there's no way around it. It's like an elephant being in a room. And everybody is walking around squeezed up against the wall. But they're not talking about the elephant because they are afraid to talk about the elephant for whatever reasons. And so the problem is to talk about the elephant. When will the elephant be talked about? See, Black people can be genocided. Native American people have been genocided. People can be genocided. See, that's what the young white people who get frustrated and they get a gun and they start shooting large numbers of people, because this is a message of the culture. You have a problem, you're upset about something, then go get your father's gun or your mother's gun and start killing a lot of people. Human life means nothing at this crisis point on this planet unless this specific problem is addressed.
All right, that was Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, and you guys heard it directly from her. Unless this issue is dealt with. All right. All right. That one was called Dr. Frances Cress Wilson. White people can't be equal to black people. All right. Don't get mad at Griff. Don't go and continue to stay mad. Well, you can. That's up to you. I'm not telling you not to. But what Nick Cannon laid out was absolutely 1,000% correct. I don't see why he backed away and backed down from that. Dr. Frances Cress Wilson was 100% right and exact. All right. If anyone dare to call me to the carpet like they called him to the carpet, they'd get a whole different vibe and a whole different conversation. All right. But there's a lot of people that's on the scene right now that you're going to see kind of going against ancestors and our ancestors and that kind of thing. We have to be very mindful of the day and time. All right. So in order to understand and analyzing racism, we have to kind of at least do the necessary field work that we need to do. We need to study. And then once we study and we get a deeper understanding of what Neely Fuller Jr. gave us, the compensatory code, and what Dr. Frances Cress Wilson lays out, then we can sit back and not sit back, but we can observe who these people are, watch their actions, and then say, okay, this is why they have to take out large groups of people, because they're feeling inadequate. They had a bad day, so they got to go shoot people. And what is this bad day? The dude that shot up the Asian massage parlors basically said he had a sex addiction, and he was just having, and the sheriff said he was having a bad day. Can y'all put two and two together and come up with what Dr. Frances Cress Wilson said, or what she gave us? It makes perfectly good sense to me, because you don't have the ability to produce large amounts of this genetic material called melanin. You're inadequate. You cannot equal to what black people can do. All right. So, yeah, we end up getting what we end up getting on a subconscious level. Yeah, I understand Manchurian Candidate. Yeah, I understand MK Ultra, MK Delta. Yeah, I understand mind control. Yes. And I'm looking at it from those angles also. I'm not dismissing them. But from a very practical uh, position, I'm understanding it from this position also. So, what do you guys think about that? With what Dr. Francis Cress Wilson gave us. While you're thinking about that, chew on this.
You have to understand specifically what you're dealing with. And without the specific understanding, there cannot be. This is just like in a war. Until you understand the exact nature of the war, what is the war fundamentally about? You can't really design strategies and tactics. And so we are not going to be able, this is why if we look back, things look worse today than they did 50 years ago. You see, because we're not dealing with an analysis. We're dealing with, uh, telling people not to kill each other. We're not dealing because we're not allowed to talk specifically about racism, white supremacy. My purpose as a psychiatrist in talking about this and making an analysis of what we are specifically dealing with is like any other thing in medicine, that you don't just deal with the symptoms of a problem. You have to wonder, well, what is the disease base that the symptoms are a reflection of? And what we have is uh, blocking a discussion, any in-depth discussion of racism, white supremacy. I mean, I'm the only psychiatrist in the United States that has been talking about racism, white supremacy for 40 plus years. I'm the only psychiatrist in the world that is talking about it. Do you see? Because it's like there's a block on, we are not going to talk about, we can talk about the symptoms, we can have all kind of people come on TV and talk about the symptoms, but we are not going to talk about the problem of racism, white supremacy, because that's the behavior on the part of people who classify themselves as white. And so they have a wall of protection, a steel iron curtain around that specific discussion that gets into what is the white responsibility for the behavior activity that we see on the planet. But I say that those people who are sincerely interested in solving the problem, they have to go in depth to the analysis. And when the Attorney General said, "Are we a nation of cowards?" being unable to talk about racism, and the answer to that has to be yes, we are a nation of cowards, but we can try to find the courage. Uh, if I could wave a magic wand, you see, you would have many people who classify themselves as white having the courage to talk about it, as well as Black people and other uh, groups of pigmented people being able to talk about this. But there are consequences to be paid, do you see, for going into this no man's land, or where this is not supposed to be discussed. But we are not going to be healthy, functional people, mentally healthy people, until this can take place.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. We talk about the mental health. As we did yesterday, the CDC has said that racism, white supremacy is one of the number one threats of public health. So if Eric Holder was correct, and Eric Holder said we are a nation of cowards, how true is that? If we're going to sit back and watch these things unfold the way they're unfolding, never saying anything, never having a discussion, never come to any conclusions, banking on the fact that, I agree to disagree, and you never come to any kind of solution-based action for your children. You're just going to keep on agreeing to disagree, which is so foolish to me. Racism is a mental disorder based on envy. Envy is fear, and envious people will hurt what threatens them, even if it's love that is offered. Raphael, official. Racism is a mental disorder. So, Mr. Gabriel, to a degree, I agree with you. Can you explain to me, or explain to us, why is it that simultaneously, at any given time, there's 3 or 4 white people shooting up schools and movie theaters and churches? At any given time, there's 3 or 4 white men killing black people. Never once in my 60 years, my 60 year rotation around the sun and back again, have I ever heard of a black police officer killing young white children, young white teenagers. Just help me out, family. This is way beyond he shouldn't have ran. Way beyond I thought he had a weapon. Way beyond, well, not way beyond that, because we're dealing with penis envy here. Way beyond a few other things. Way beyond, he stole some a candy bar out of the store. Way beyond any of these things. I have and I think I've showed this to you before. Hold on one second. It's kind of raggedy now because I've been pulling it out, and way beyond these things, we truly have to understand what's going on. The history of racial injustice. Make sure you get a copy of this before you can't get them anymore. It's a 2020 calendar. History of racial injustice is very well put together. The new era of truth and justice. Now, keep in mind, I think tomorrow we also need to talk about how they're saying this is the new Jim Crow now. These voting laws that Georgia have set up are the new Jim Crow. A new era of truth and justice. We must first tell the truth about our history of racial injustice before we can address its legacy. All right, so starting in January, every single day, a black man and woman have been murdered. Every single day. Ramadan Kareem, Dwayne, peace. What's good with you? Assalamu alaikum. Where could you get a copy? Let me say that first. Equal Justice Initiative, EJI. 334 269 1803. 334 269 1803. Once again, 334 269 1803. EJI.org. EJI.org. Somebody type it in the chat so other people can get it. 334-269-1803, EJI.org. All right. A history of racial injustice, 2020 calendar. And it is ridiculous. Thank you very much, DNK83. Here it is, March. And you can go from 1985 to 1965, 1865 to 1965, right on up to the annals of history. Thank you very much. It means beautiful flower. But every single day of the entire year, someone was murdering black people. If you are going to sit there and tell me this is not systematic, along with this being at the root core of racism, white supremacy, yeah, you're going to have a hard time being in the room with me, because I'm going to tell exactly what it is. It is what it is. This is what it is. I hear you, beautiful black skin. See, it only hits home and it only affects us when your cousin, your niece, your sister, your auntie, your brother is shot down. But we are each other's and one another's keeper. So we have to be very mindful. It's Deontay Wright a couple of days ago, and a couple of days from now, it's one of your friends, one of your relatives. So, but because of the way the elections turned out, they've put in and signed into law a new bill that would restrict access to voting booths. They would restrict you from having your wife stand in line and you want to bring her a sandwich or some water. You can't do that. This is ridiculous, man. Wow. I'm not sure where the sound is on this family, but y'all can see it. Let me just show it to you. I want you to get the calendar because I need you to equip yourself when you have that family discussion at the dinner table or the family reunion. All right. That this is what we need to have at our disposal. All right. Who can honestly say that they have on their coffee table right now, or on their nightstand in their bedroom, or even in your library, your private library at home, without sanctuary? Can someone let me know if you have without sanctuary? Do I have without sanctuary down here? I'm not sure.
Something terrible happened here. And for decades, people didn't talk about it.
Hold on, family. We were talking about without sanctuary. How many people have the book? Oh, you do, Bay 357. Okay. I'm on Facebook, YouTube. Let me know. Talk to me. Hold on. Someone took the video down. All right. Sexy Spirit TV, talk to me. Do you have Without Sanctuary? I know you're just coming on, but come on. Without, if you don't know what it is, let's look it up right now.
And this book is a
Without Sanctuary. And it has Sexy Spirit TV. It has. You have the book. You have the book. Hey, Coop, I need y'all to look up the book right now while I show this footage. Come on over to YouTube. All right. Even if it's a tough book to read, that's no reason not to read it. Here we go.
And this book is a collection of newspaper accounts of the lynching of blacks, which reveal the nature of the lynchers and demonstrates the sheer crazed delight that white folk experienced at the torture and murder of innocent blacks. The Vicksburg, Mississippi Evening Post, for instance, described the 1904 lynching of Luther Holbert and his wife in Mississippi. And this is 1904. That's just 103 years ago. But check this out. Mr. Holbert had killed a white man in self-defense. And his wife's sole crime was her marriage to him. Now, this is the account of what happened. The two Negroes, this is in Ralph Ginsburg's book, were tied to trees. And while the funeral pyres were being prepared, funeral pyres meaning that they were mounting wood and stuff because they were going to burn them. While the funeral pyres were being prepared, this male and female were forced to suffer the most fiendish tortures. The blacks were forced to hold out their hands while one finger at a time was chopped off. The fingers were distributed as souvenirs. The ears were cut off. Holbert was beaten severely. His skull was fractured and one of his eyes knocked out with a stick hung by a shred from the socket. The most excruciating form of punishment consisted in the use of a large corkscrew in the hands of some of the mob. The instrument was bored into the flesh of the man and woman in the arms, legs, and body, and then pulled out. The spirals tearing out big pieces of raw, quivering flesh every time it was withdrawn. The mob then burned the couple to death, forcing the Holbert's son to watch. This is painful to listen to. Imagine how painful it was to see it, and imagine how painful it was for that black man and woman to experience it. The son was just watching. He was crazed with fear, and when he saw the flames consuming his tortured parents and heard their frightful screams and prayers for mercy, he threw himself face downward on the ground, closing his eyes and putting his fingers in his ears to shut the fearful scene out from sight and hearing. After the couple was dead and only partly consumed by the fire, the mob left them, and the boy took the blackened corpses of his parents and laid them side by side in the brush, covering them over as best he could. In some white people's minds, there was also a civic necessity for these bloody public murders, and that was outlined by the University of Alabama professor Clarence Cason. Listen to his words. This conviction that the black man must now and then be intimidated in order to keep him from forgetting the bounds which Southern traditions have set for him. Even now in Mississippi, in Alabama, in Louisiana, in Texas, in Georgia, back in these rural areas, black folks still are intimidated, and they keep within the bounds that white folk have set for them. And we are 150 years up from slavery, but fear still grips a lot of our people, not only in the South, but in the North as well.
And so you mean to tell me, family, one account after the other, and this is just one book. Imagine all the things that happen, you see all the things that's happening now, but because of social media and the advent of the internet and cell phones and technology have allowed us to see some of these things firsthand. But these are the same people. These are the same people. These are the same people. And you get mad at Professor Griffin because of the intonation of my voice? A few little curse words? Wow. No. Mm-mm. The spirit of Yah Satiwa runs through my veins. The spirit of the Mau Mau runs through my veins. Now, the spirit of Steve Biko runs through my veins. Mm-mm. No. Other people want to cram down our throats that they'll never forget. I will never forget. Never forget. How can I? It's still happening. It is still happening to this day right now. There is no way in the world that there needs to be a trial right now for Derek Chauvin. We saw the man outright choke our brother out. And we're going through the circus for what? For what? There's some bloodthirsty people out there that don't want black people to have any justice, even if it's on film. even if it's on film. There's other than a history of racial injustice calendar without sanctuary. These are the tools that you're going to need. All right, these are the tools that you're just going to need in order to state Black people's case. We're not going to get sidetracked. We're not going to have you throw a monkey wrench in the game. No pun intended. We're going to talk about the monkey wrench in a minute. No, and we're not going to forget. You see, some of you well-to-do Negroes, they like to snuggle up next to white folks, and because you got a few little white friends, and you agree with them when they say, "Oh, that happened a long time ago." This happened last week. Several months ago, I asked a question on this platform. Go to your internet and tell me when's the last time a Black man has been lynched. The craziest answers. Craziest answers was coming up. Well, IG got to do what IG got to do. They can flag it. YouTube, Facebook, they got to do what they got to do. They shut the my other channel down, and I gave people my email address and asked people to email me. And I said, well, just join a serious cipher where we can have these discussions without being interrupted. Couldn't get 30 people. Couldn't get 30 people. So a part of me is saying, when we come on here, what is it? Are we just want to be entertained? Or do you really truly want the truth to pass down to your children? Like, so what is it? Am I entertainment for you at 3 o'clock every day? And I used to come on at 9 o'clock every night for years. Is this just entertainment? I said everyone needs to go to www.professorgrip.me and join so I can have your email address. So when I send out the massive email, everyone can be on the same page. And get Black people to cooperate. White people like, shit, sure. Let's talk. I'm sharing my screen. This is it, www.professorgriff.me. You can hit this right here, and you can donate. You can scroll down and click this right here, and you could sign up and support the cause and come to the lecture, the weaponization of Black music. Or you can click Serious Cipher right here, and it'll take you to a page where you can join. At the bottom right here, it says click to join. When you go click to join, it'll take you to this page. I did a video, and it says the Serious Cipher. All right. www.professorgriff.me. Scroll down, right hand, bottom, click Serious Cipher. And all of this is $10 every month. You spend that at one day at goddamn Starbucks. So I take your information, put it along with everyone else. I send out a massive email. One day every 2 weeks, we have a Serious Cipher and we go in. Discuss what we need to discuss. Hold on 1 second. Peace, what's good? Not much. I'm doing my show right now, and I'll be off in 5 minutes. I'll call you right back. All right, but you good though? Cool. Give me 5 minutes and I'll hit you back. All right. That's my sister Latanya out of Dallas, Texas, who's hooking me up with the Black Gun Clubs. And I'm going to make an appearance in Dallas to talk to those new gun owners that have bought guns and just never took them out of the box, never fired them, whatever. And I'm just saying, fam, learn how to protect yourself. Gem 3 Entertainment, that's it. www.professorgriff.me. Scroll down. Just the way it would look when it comes up. Hit Serious Cipher. It'll go to the Serious Cipher page. Go right here, click join. It'll take you here. Fill out the information. All right. Fill out the information. Hold on. Fill out the information, and just $10 a month, we are able, with your subscription, regardless of what Facebook and the rest of these people do, we're at least able to catch up on the information, get the deepest essence of what we have to say, and a lot of things we can't say on social media. We can say it in Zoom. So until Zoom shut it down, we'll find someplace else. But you have to make the first step. I made the move. I made the first step towards you to help raise the vibratory pitch of your thinking into the mind of God. You need to make the second move towards me. Let's put an email in a newsletter sign up. Let's do that. You want to hit me up? It means beautiful flower. My phone number is 678-557-2919. Text me, sis. I'll hit you up. Let's make it happen today. Let's put an email in a newsletter for sign up. Let's do it. I'm one of them action kind of people. I don't like talking a whole lot. If we're going to do it, then let's do it. Talking sheep and bullshit runs the marathon, right or wrong. So I'm going to call Latanya back to make this thing happen in Dallas. And sis, it means beautiful flower. I'm going to be looking for your text message a little bit later on today. My phone number is 678-557-2919. 678-557-2919. Man, if you're gonna be about it, then be about it, family. Let's make it happen. All right. Ramadan Mubarak to all of the Muslims out there. All right. We need to fast and pray. We need to get centered. All right. Whatever spiritual practice you have, let's make it happen. Because these other people are not gonna stop, family. You know how many volumes of this we can put together? The history of our people being lynched in America? Do y'all realize? So come on. And you'll know if I went deeper into this, we might get a little bit emotional, and YouTube, IG will shut us down, because that's what they do. Love y'all to life, family. I will see y'all, inshallah. I will see y'all tomorrow. All right? All right. It means beautiful flower. I'm going to be expecting your text message a little bit later on. I'm about to call Latanya back to make this thing happen in Dallas. Love y'all to life, fam. Peace. Thanks to everyone for your donations and your support. I truly, truly mean that. If Professor Griff, your brother, have been called to do this and y'all see me doing it, come aid the brother and whatever you can do. I'm presently collecting vegan bean pies, and now I'm only playing. But come aid the brother, man. All right? I'm here. Love y'all to life, fam. Peace.
presents Tricknology, CERT, Pistol Training, and Dry Fire Drills. Professor Griff, USCCA Firearms Instructor. Stealth, STELP. Safety, Training, Education, and Legal Protection. CERT, Pistol Training, and Dry Fire Drills. For training classes, email us at seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. That's SIRIUSMINDZ info@gmail.com, or call 678-557-2919. Log on to www.professorgriff.me or www.seriousmindsinstitute.com. Thank you very much.